As you may or may not know, I tend to think a lot about how our bodies and its symptoms try to take care of us in some way. I have been through a life of chronic pain and chronic illness, and I am always curious about what is it that the symptoms or the illness or the pain is trying to do for me? Is there a positive intention behind the pain? Is there something that I need to learn here? And believe me, and if you're somebody that suffers with chronic pain, chronic illness as well, you know sometimes it can feel almost excruciating to think that there could be some kind of gift in this or some kind of message. But the reality is, over and over and over again, for myself and for many of the people I work with, I have found over and over again that our bodies are trying to do things for us that sometimes we can't do without its help. An example of this that I've been thinking about for myself, and I like to use myself as an example because I'm a bit of a test case and I like to speak from experience. I like to talk about things I know a lot about. So I'm going to share with you what I know about this from my own experience, which is something about kindness. I have found in relationships, be it friendships, partnerships, family relationships, etc., something that will happen when I'm feeling like we might be in a conflict or at odds with each other. I'll notice my body will tend to start have symptoms. It will be unconscious, it won't be planned, but something won't feel quite right. I won't feel as well as I usually do. And as of late, I have noticed that happens because it's a way that I learned as a little one to try to get people to be kind when I felt like they were not with me in a way that was caring, where maybe I felt frightened or scared, or I felt like people were angry at me when they really should have been loving me. And my sense is that I developed this way of coping unconsciously. My body figured out if I could get sick, people would lay off. If I could get sick, people would come in and take care of me. Now, this probably worked a handful of times, but the amount that it's actually worked in reality throughout a lifetime has been quite small. It was a brilliant internal unconscious survival mechanism. However, it doesn't actually work. What happens to me in most relationships is it works for a minute, and then people tend to get irritated. People tend to feel like whatever it was that we were trying to tend to together can't be tended to because now I'm in a state where I need to be cared for. And so while the point was to try to create kindness, a calming down, a connection, it actually created a lot of disconnection and havoc in my life and also drama. So the way for me to have moved through this, I'm still on my way through, is to really slow down when I see symptoms getting kicked up and to notice what is happening in this relationship. Is there fear here? Am I nervous that I might be in some kind of conflict or disconnect that I don't know how to navigate? Am I feeling afraid? Am I feeling unsafe? And if the answers to those questions are yes, then I know that I need to drop into a care for myself where I can create a sense of safety. I can create a sense of love, of listening, of validating, oh wow, you're scared right now. Not needing the other person to do that for me, because we get in a lot of trouble when we try to get those people across from us to take care of us in this way when something between us actually needs to get taken care of. That's not to say that we can't receive care from others. We absolutely can, but we want it to be clear and clean. And this is one way we can take care of our side of things that are in our control. So the first way to do that is to just ask myself those questions. Am I feeling unsafe? Am I feeling scared? Am I feeling like we're in some kind of disconnect that I don't know how to navigate back into connection? And then the second thing that I like to do is actually to be transparent about it. Transparent to whoever I'm in connection with, if it feels appropriate, if I feel safe enough to do that with that person. Hey, I notice that my body and my system does this kind of thing and it's happening right now. And that is telling me that I'm scared or I don't know how to navigate this. And can you help me do this together? So transparency goes a long way. It's also very vulnerable. It's a different kind of vulnerability than kind of going into a little kid sick state where we need to be kind of cared for as though we were a child. This is an adult type of vulnerability, one where we have courage and strength amidst any fear that we could disappoint somebody or let someone down or have them think any less of us, that we're messy or needing extra care in terms of how to communicate, how to come back into connection. This is a healthy kind of vulnerability. And whether or not that can happen, it depends on the person in front of us. We have taken care of ourselves in that way, and that builds trust. So trust is really key in taking care of the parts of ourselves that tend to go into illness and pain, because sometimes it tries to do the job for us, and this way we are standing in our adult self going, I've got this, I've got you. You don't need to come in and be sick. You don't need to come in and be in pain. I've got you and I've got this situation. So we build trust with ourselves that we can operate as adults in this kind of vulnerability. And lastly, to always see if it's possible, and this doesn't have to be last, it can be first, to appreciate this part for trying to take care of us. It doesn't know any better. That's what it learned out of survival. So as much respect, honoring, validation, and gratitude we can offer to this part that goes into pain, that goes into helplessness, that goes into sickness, to just go, oh, it makes so much sense that you feel that way, that this is coming up. I'm going to take care of you so that I can take care of this relationship. I really look forward to hearing how this lands. I'm guessing that for many of you, you'll have no idea what I'm talking about. And for others, you'll realize, oh, wow, I might do this. And my hope is that it lands in an empowered way, because this gives you more knowledge, more insight to take action on something that maybe previously you were unaware of.